All right, coming up next to the Tank Sharks, welcome to a guy who's got a little touch of home.
Good evening, Sharks. It's a pleasure to be swimming with you. I've worked with some of you before, Katie, and some of you I'm meeting for the first time, Asher. Sorry. My name's Tananbaum. I'm from New York City, and I have a bit that I know you want. Well, actually, it's not my bit. Can I ask you a question? How many of you have or have had a grandmother? Me too. And this is what I'd like to sell, is a bit that belongs to my grandmother. Now I know what you're thinking, Tanner, you have so many tremendous bits of your own that you can sell. You do this when you want likes. For a year and a half I only said mahalo. And some of you know I've been working on a bit that talks about the hilarity of trying to hitchhike in a world of flying cars. But today is not about me. Today is about my grandmother. My beautiful, beautiful grandmother. This is Esther Petersile. She's 92, she's Jewish, she's Polish, she's perfect. During my bi-weekly call with her this week, I told her I was doing the Bit Tank. And Sharks, she knows about this show. She loves it. She loves the premise, she loves the ideas, she loves the entrepreneurs, but most of all, she loves the Sharks, especially you, Chandler. And when she heard I was going on this show, she asked if I would sell one of her most cherished bits. Truly. It is a bit that has inspired my entire career. A bit that made me become a humorist, a satirist, and a comedian. This is all truth, sincerity, and honesty. So, what is this bit? Well, first you need to know a little background about my grandmother. And this is going to get a little serious, but so don't be afraid, guys. Emotions are okay. My grandmother is a Holocaust survivor. And when she was 14, she and her family were taken to Auschwitz, which is like the famous one. And sorry, not like the one that everybody knows about. And I don't need to go into like the horrors of what happened there. It's been well documented. And after the Holocaust, she moved with her husband that she met in a displaced persons camp to New York City. They raised a family. And after my mother and uncle grew up, my grandmother started talking about her experiences in the Holocaust, her trials, her tribulations. And the reason she wanted to do that is because she thought it was important that no one ever forget what happened. And whenever one of her grandchildren turns 14, she actually takes them to Auschwitz to walk them through what she went through. And I've done that. It's a very surreal experience, but my sisters have done it as well. And so what my grandmother does now is she sort of adheres to this quote that I heard that goes something like this: if we can't make light of tragedy, our hearts will always be heavy. I came up with that quote. And so when she gives her speeches about her time in Auschwitz or during the Holocaust or in a displaced persons camp, she opens her speech, every speech I've ever heard, she opens with this same bit. I swear on my life. She takes the stage, the audience is already, tears are swelling in their eyes just knowing what the content of the speech will be. And she looks at them in the audience, she looks at the audience in the eye and she goes, "The Nazis, they took away everything from me, but my accent." I swear on my life, that is something that she has said. Do you want me? I'll do it again. Would any of you need me to do that again?
Yeah, I want you to do it.
The Nazis, they took away everything from me, but my accent. First sentence out of the gate at UJA, at an APAC event, any kind of Jew event. There's a program called, it's about teaching tolerance. I forget what it's called, but stuff with like the United Nations. She has done it all, and she uses that same bit to open every speech. Now, I'm not here to make light of the Holocaust. I'm not here to do that. I'm here on behalf of my grandmother. She wants a mink scarf for the winter in New York. It has been cold and has been cold. And she has asked me to come and sell this bit. And now I know what you're saying, don't do it for charity. I'm not asking for your money for charity or for my grandmother. There are many people who have a story like that. But think about what you could do with a Holocaust bit. How many shows have you seen, improv or sketch, where Nazis are brought up? How often does it feel trite or humdrum? Boringly common. What I'm offering you is a tremendous bit to inject some original creativity and juice into something that's been made fun of for over 70 years at a new angle. And so, if you find it in your heart to give me this money for this bit, it will go directly towards buying my grandmother a mink scarf for this winter. Now, I didn't set the terms for this bit. This is her bit. I'm merely a vessel. She couldn't fly out. Shabbos ends around 9:30 this morning. And she is asking for 2 terms, $240, and the right for her grandson, me, to use this bit in any interviews down the road in life when I'm asked what my inspiration was for going into comedy. Sharks, I know you couldn't say no to your grandmothers if they asked you to do something. Can you say no to mine?
That was a great pitch, Tanner. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that. And I am not going to bid that amount of money, but I'm going to bid $10 because I would feel bad if I didn't bid.
Can I listen to?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll get through everybody.
I'll piggyback on Nate. I also am not going to bid $240 for a mink scarf, but I know your fan. I'm sure you can still make that happen for her. So I'm very confident that she's still going to get what she needs. But I do also think that this is a really nice tribute that you brought for her, and I think that's a really cool thing. I will throw in $10 with Nate, and how about we throw our combined bid to give to a charity of some kind. I would throw down on that. I think it'd be a nice thing. We could do it in her name.
Esther.
So, I have a question. So you only stated 2 terms, and I'm a little curious. Are you concerned at all about how this bit may be employed by the average improviser? For example, if I buy this bit, it would be gifted to my wife. That's more or less why I'm here. I have no use for bits. But, are you familiar with my wife, Joe Scott?
Very familiar with her work, yeah.
Okay, so you know that if she used this bit, it would probably be like
I would say
opening volley to like an incest scene or something.
I would say those are some of the more capable hands in this community. Like I think that.
I'll add $5.
I'm of course in. This hits everything. I shouldn't say it hits everything.
Right in your sweet spot there.
It is right. Well, yeah.
She named you specifically.
And you did tell me 24 hours ago that you had something that I wouldn't be able to resist. Yes, but I also like the idea of joining this being a communal shark purchase. So I'm very happy to throw 20 on top. But I would like if perhaps all sharks and yourself who are in can do a one-time performance that incorporates this joke in a way that you see as working really, really well in the sketch.
Tonight?
No.
Oh, great, because I would have to check with my grandmother.
Yes, in the future. That would be.
That's a very. Thank you very much for that offer. It's very interesting.
Where does she live in New York?
She used to live in Woodmere, Long Island, which is known as Erev, which is like a religious Jewish community where, like, on Friday night through Sunday, that place it's a ghost town.
Right.
But now she lived by herself, so now we got the apartment underneath us in New York for her to live in. So she lives below me, but above.
Okay. And is she pretty mobile? Like, does she?
Yeah. Oh, she's good. She doesn't like walking. She still walks the synagogue. She walked the synagogue today. I was talking with her. She said there's a new rabbi that she really likes. He's Canadian, but she said he's great.
Okay. I would like to also build on this. This is like who I hope to be, and I like you. I know this was like a joke, but it absolutely got me.
It was sincere.
Full on. And I would also like to say that if you and your grandmother would like to come to SNL one time and sit in the writer's room, I would love for that to happen because I love this woman and I think that would be a cool thing for her.
That would be right.
So I would like to add that.
Hey, Katie, can I ask what you asked, what you and Asher were talking about right after the bit?
Oh, I said, isn't he super rich? And Asher's like, yeah. So I feel like that's also something that's not monetary that we could do for her.
Okay, cool. So we got $45 to go to a charity in your grandmother's name.
Of her choosing?
I believe so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of her choosing, in her name, to perform the bit one time with all of you guys. So it's a one-time thing. I think your grandmother can still hold on to ownership
Yes.
of it. Yeah.
Oh.
So she will still be able to do the bit, which seems like that's important. And then you got an offer to come to the writer's room with your grandma and sit there. What do you think, Tanner? Can anyone in the audience outbid that?
I want to add $5 to the pot.
We got a $5, so we got $50. So we got $55 to a charity of your grandmother's choice in her name. You guys do the bit one time. Your grandma still holds on to it. What do you think, Asher? Or what do you think, Tanner? Sorry. What do you think, Asher? Does Tanner think that's a good deal? Yeah. Tanner, what do you think?
Yes.
All right. Congratulations, Tanner. Congratulations to Grandma. I hope she's very happy. And I hope she gets to do this bit many, many more times.